The US elections are just getting started, with Donald Trump dominating the headlines with his ridiculous bullshit, taking time to make fun of Rosie O'Donnell during actual political debates, and being unapologetic about how much of a crazy old racist misogynist he really is.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
And, while Canada certainly can't top that level of insanity, we've got an election going on too, and we're doing our absolute best to make it as much a carnival freak show as our neighbors to the south. The idea behind an election campaign, if I've learned anything in my 34 years on this planet, is to avoid actual issues entirely, and spend all of your time trying to make yourself likable, at the expense of your opponent. Basically like arguing in the YouTube comments section. In Canada, we have three major parties. The Conservatives, sort of like the Republicans if they weren't so gun-happy. The Liberals, similar to the Democrats if their leader was a white French guy half the time. And the NDP, who are more left-wing than the left-wing, and really like unions. More than Friends like. Plus, we have two smaller parties with a small chance of getting a seat or two in Parliament. The Green Party, mostly known for their stance on the environment. Okay, only known for their stance on the environment. They're the Green Party. And the Bloc Québécois, a party that only runs in Quebec and wants to separate from Canada. That's right, they want to lead Canada so they can get the fuck out of it. So, here are some of the highlights so far. First, we get Stephen Harper, our current Prime Minister, trying to appeal to the younger voters by showing how hip he is, by butchering a song from the late 80s. Then, as we get into actual election season, he brings out the big guns. An attack ad where he makes fun of his Liberal opponent, Justin Trudeau, son of Liberal legend Pierre Trudeau. The focus is that he's too young for the job, and they've said is just not ready. Trudeau, by the way, is about the same age Harper was when he became Prime Minister.
So what are his policies?
Legalizing marijuana. Is that the biggest problem we have to solve?
He has some growing up to do. People, being Prime Minister is not an entry-level job.
I'm not saying no forever, but not now.
Nice hair, though.
Yeah, nice hair, though. That's what we're focusing on. And that he might legalize marijuana. They also attempted to make him look like some sort of deviant because he took a picture with a topless girl at a gay pride parade a year or so ago. Dude wants to get high and hang out with topless chicks, and you think this will deter voters? Younger voters are gonna be like, oh man, I'd hang with this fucker. And in a really baffling move, the NDP sort of came to Justin Trudeau's defense by making a parody ad of the Conservatives' attack ad against the Liberals.
Time to let him go. So, who do we get?
Tom O'Care's ready. Been in cabinet, right priorities.
Yeah, he's up for the job.
Stephen Harper. It's time to let him go.
Nice hair, though.
Confused? I'm from here and I don't know what the fuck's going on. We'll promote our candidate by tossing ourselves in the middle of a fight that wasn't ours to begin with. The NDPs have had to struggle with their own issues. Like a candidate that recently admitted she didn't know what Auschwitz was until a few weeks ago. Alex Johnstone had a post from social media resurface from years ago. I told you last week about how this shit haunts you, where she made some joke on a friend's picture of the fence at Auschwitz looking phallic. This is a person who I assume has to be university educated and somehow had never heard of the Nazi death camp. If you can give her points for something, though, it's being honest. Anyone else would have just quickly looked it up on Wikipedia and then said some shit like, I was young and stupid back then, but I learned all about it a few years ago. Sorry about that thing I said years ago. She was just like, nope, still stupid. Whoopsie. Politicians don't always make the best choices for their images, though. For example, Elizabeth May, leader of the Green Party, went on a rambling 9-minute speech that ended in this bizarre moment, where she played the theme to Welcome Back Kotter on her phone in honor of Omar Kotter, convicted of war crimes by the US, being released from Guantanamo Bay to Canada's custody, since he was originally a citizen here before moving back to the Middle East as a teenager.
There's a lot unusual about your speech, Liz, but we're going to take off.
Omar Khadr, you got more class than the whole fucking cabinet. Thank you.
If the Green Party wasn't already kind of a laughingstock before, which it was, it definitely would be now. No matter which side of the argument you land on with the Omar Khadr thing, it's pretty embarrassing having your handler drag you off, looking like your disappointed mom picking you up because you got drunk at a grade 10 dance. But all of this doesn't matter, it's all nonsense. None of it is really any indication of how any of these people would be at their job, and none of it helps citizens make a more informed decision. They're literally gonna vote for the party whose image they like the most, or whichever one got them to believe the other candidates are scumbags. This is how we run an election campaign too. Just like our older brother, the good old US of A. All bullshit, no substance. As citizens, we're just as stupid and uninformed when we enter those voting booths, but more confused because like 3 to 5 people show up on the ballot depending on where you live, not just 2 like in the US. So, to everyone, do what you can. Just try your hardest. I mean, you're gonna get some fucking idiot as your leader no matter what you do, but maybe you can get the lesser of several evils. Sticking your ballot in that ballot box is like sticking your hand into a snake pit. You're gonna get bit. You just hope that you get bit by the least venomous snake.